You know that cup of coffee in your hand? Or maybe the one you're dreaming about right now? Well, it's so much more than just a morning ritual. It's the end result of this absolutely epic globe-spanning journey. We're talking dancing goats, clandestine rituals, and yeah, even a papal blessing. So let's trace this incredible story right from the very beginning. Our story doesn't kick off in some trendy cafe or an ancient city, as you might expect. Nope, we're starting way up in the misty highlands of Ethiopia. And it all started with a herd of unusually energetic, you might even say, dancing goats.
So, the legend centers on this goat herder named Kaldi. He noticed his goats got just unbelievably energetic after eating these strange red berries from a tree. Being naturally curious, he did what any of us would do, right? He tried them himself, and he felt this amazing spark of energy, a spark that would, and I'm not exaggerating, quite literally change the world.
And that little spark, that discovery, brings us to the first real chapter of our story. We're in the Kaffa region of Ethiopia, and this is where coffee begins its journey from just a wild berry to a very closely guarded secret.
Now here's something that might surprise you. Coffee wasn't first consumed as a drink. The earliest adopters were actually Ethiopian monks, who used the berries to stay alert through these incredibly long nights of prayer. But they weren't brewing it. Instead, they would grind the berries up with animal fat and roll them into these little energy balls. Yeah, they basically created the world's very first power bar.
Of course, a secret this powerful, this energizing, well, it couldn't stay local for long. The journey truly begins as trade routes carry this amazing Ethiopian discovery across the Red Sea and into the Arabian Peninsula.
This brings us to the next major phase, the Arabian Awakening. This is where coffee really transforms from a simple monastic tool into the fuel for a whole vibrant culture of devotion and, importantly, discussion.
So, in 15th century Yemen, Sufi mystics were the first to brew the beans into a hot beverage that we might actually recognize today. They called it kahwa. But listen, this wasn't just a morning pick-me-up. For them, it was practically a sacred drink that fueled entire nights of religious devotion, deep thought, and even poetry.
Coffee soon earned this really cool nickname, the wine of Islam. It was seen as this sophisticated, stimulating social drink that offered energy and clarity, all without alcohol, which, of course, fit perfectly into the culture.
From Yemen, coffee's popularity just exploded. And here's a fun fact for you. Ever ordered a mocha? Well, that name comes directly from Yemen's ancient port of Mocha. Why? Because that port became the very first global hub for shipping coffee beans to the rest of the world.
From Mocha, the Kawakhane, or coffee house, was born, and this idea spread like wildfire through major cultural hubs. In Mecca, it fueled discussions among pilgrims. In Cairo, it became this vibrant center for trade, art, and music. And in Istanbul, the heart of the Ottoman Empire, it was the absolute nexus of intellectual life. These were buzzing, dynamic places, so full of debate, in fact, that authorities sometimes got a little nervous about the revolutionary ideas being brewed inside.
So, what do you think happened when this revolutionary drink finally arrived in Europe? Well, it sparked a massive debate. People were asking, was this dark, bitter brew from the East a devilish invention, or was it a blessed beverage?
When Venetian merchants first brought coffee to Europe in the early 1600s, it was met with a ton of suspicion. This fascinating new drink was immediately controversial. I mean, its critics literally called it the bitter invention of Satan.
Okay, so with such a powerful and negative reputation brewing against it, how in the world did coffee manage to win over an entire continent?
The answer, believe it or not, came from the most influential person in Europe, Pope Clement VIII. His advisors were all urging him to ban this devil's drink, but he insisted on tasting it first. His verdict changed absolutely everything. He declared, "This beverage is too good to be from the devil," and he promptly blessed it, making it an acceptable Christian drink.
With the Pope's blessing, the European coffee house boom just took off. They earned the fantastic nickname penny universities because for the price of a single penny, anyone could buy a coffee and get access to a world of brilliant minds and revolutionary ideas. In an age before public libraries or widespread literacy, they became these great equalizers of information. They were basically the internet of their day.
So, from the legend of dancing goats in Ethiopia, to the poetic nights of Sufi mystics, all the way to the intellectual revolution sparked in Europe's penny universities, all of that incredible history is right there, brewing in your morning cup. So the next time you take a sip, what part of this journey are you going to think about? Hey, if you enjoyed this, do us a favor and hit that like button. share it with someone you think would dig it, and subscribe for more explainers that bring our amazing shares